Welcome back to Bonanza Disc Golf. Today is another episode of Project 100. I was planning on doing a forehand update and just like backhand form review and everything today. However, my training just has not been going good. If you're new to the channel, Project 100 is my plan to go from MA1 to MPO over the course of this year. I guess the BB6 isn't a good microphone. I'm taking you along with that journey so that you can see what that looks like, because my goal here on the channel is to cash at a Pro Tour event. But honestly, my training these past couple weeks has not been going good. So I want to break down why that's the case, what I'm doing to change that, as well as just my overall plans for touring within the next 3 years, and basically how I plan to get onto the Pro Tour. First off, training, because if you're new to Project 100, essentially the goal is to do one non-disc golf workout per week, one fieldwork session per week, and average 100 putts a day over the whole course of the off season. This past week has been all right, but not good. I actually did do a fieldwork session. I didn't do my non-disc golf workout, but I did do a lot of putting. So my putt has felt really good. My play has not felt great, and a lot of it has been, I've realized that my distance in both forehand and backhand has gone down slightly because I just don't think I'm in that good of shape. Like, I haven't been focused on eating well and fueling my body well. We're gonna change BF5. But on top of that, most of my focus has been here at the channel, which I think is good for right now, because obviously you need money to be able to travel, and I need to build this up into a full-time income so that, as we'll talk about in a second, I can move into an apartment this year and then continue to travel more and more and more. And it is understandable that it's hindering my game, but I just need to realize that. So let's get into my plan for training starting this next week and then moving throughout the whole rest of the off season, because I'm honestly changing it a little bit from what I was going to do. And I think it's gonna help me be prepared better for the Pro Tour, whether that's this year, next year, or the year after, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first off, I want to say thank you guys, because I think pretty soon we should be at 10,000 subscribers. I'm hoping for it by Monday, because then it's within 6 months of me starting my channel. So please subscribe if you haven't yet. But I also just want to let you guys know that if this video feels a little bit lower effort than some of my other videos, it's because it totally is. I just wanted to share my experience so far in the off season, as well as my plans for the next couple of years, because I know a lot of you guys are interested in that, especially with travel schedule and things like that. So this is going to be just more of a heart-to-heart and less of a highly edited, better quality. It's just a lazy video. And sometimes you got to do that when you're trying to put out like 1.5 videos a day like I have for the past 10 days. We'll change the mic again. So honestly, my plan has shifted a little bit, because I realized I have so much going on, especially with the channel and wanting to train, as well as building this up as a business, as well as really enjoying the content that I'm producing. I have not really put the energy and intentionality towards my training like I should. And on top of that, realizing that I need a little more accountability than just, hey, this is one thing that could be good for you to do, and then I have to figure out how to implement all these form changes on my own. I'm actually going to start paying for coaching. Now, this is going to start for me on Monday, and I'm going to create an entire plan for my off-season training to work on forehand and backhand, as well as my nose angle tends to be a little bit thin. My nose angle tends to not be very good, but I'm going to be working with a professional coach who I'm going to pay for to get that plan, and then also to do probably bi-weekly coaching, maybe a little bit more, even though I'm really focusing on being a pro YouTuber here and trying to be the best YouTuber in disc golf on the platform. I also want to try to be the best disc golfer that I possibly can be, so I need to pay for coaching personally. Maybe this is you if you're wanting to get to that next level and you're trying to do it all on your own, because for me, that accountability, knowing that I'm spending money instead of just doing free stuff where like I got good information, but I have so much more buy-in when I actually pay money to get coached, and I want to have regular check-ins with somebody who knows what they're talking about, because I'm an athlete and I can do things well and I can feel when things are going well or not, but I need a coach to help get me to that next level. 9 speeds and up just cannot. I think these are all 9 speeds, but on to the next. All right, we're gonna be very careful, because honestly right now my distance is still like right around that 400, 410. My forehand is feeling much smoother. Like, I have been working on it. When I hit it right, I'm feeling really good about it, but I haven't felt the need and draw to consistently be doing it, because I haven't had the accountability buy-in or my dollars buying in. Probably gonna do the thing that's gonna make you better, since you're putting money on the line, and I don't like, and I'm sure you don't like, wasting money. So I'm really excited to bring you guys along with my training, especially with a coach, because I know what I'm doing for myself, but it would be nice to have someone who knows what is happening on a more broad level. And that'll honestly just help me to give you guys better information, because it's somebody who's studied the game for a long time and is a coach instead of is an athlete who's trying to teach things, because those two things can come together, but being an athlete and being a coach definitely are separate. So I'm excited to work with a coach to make myself the best athlete that I can, instead of just trying to do it as best I can myself, which is not a bad way to do it. It's just not the optimal way for me right now, with the limited time and energy that I have to put towards all these things that I am doing. But that moves me into my schedule for this upcoming year and probably the next couple years. So I want to explain to you what my general thoughts are for my journey moving into MPO in 2023, and the type of tournaments and maybe some of the tournaments that I'm planning on playing. But a lot of it comes down to some personal things that I have to get done as well. All right, the last two discs in here are an Undertaker again and a Cloudbreaker, but I just cannot. I need to put this on a mini. I don't have any more tournaments planned for December of this year. So starting next year in 2023, I'm moving up to MPO. I've got some comments on times when I say that, and they're like, okay, you should probably wait. You should probably just blah, 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 blah. But when I move up, I tend to play up to the skill level that I'm playing at. And my last couple tournaments, I think my last 5 or 6 tournaments, my average overall has been just over 970, which the PDGA themselves says is the rating of a professional disc golfer at the local level. Obviously, there are things that I need to clean up and things I need to do, but I don't mind doing them and trying to fight for the cash line instead of being in MA1, where I feel like I'm kind of at the cusp of I could be playing MA1 and consistently being on the podium, which is what I have been doing every tournament that I've played MA1 except for one. Or I can be in MPO and at the local level be fighting for the podium, or maybe at a higher level be fighting for the cash line and just seeing what I can do, because I'm not afraid of moving back down in case I don't do well in MPO. But there's no harm in moving up to MPO and seeing if I'm able to compete at that level and if my mental game can take me there, as well as the disc golf that I've been able to play, because I feel very confident in my disc golf, especially when I don't play like 15 days in a row with no rest and playing 36 holes. That's just not a recipe for success. However, in 2023, I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be able to play any events on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I'm planning on playing as many weekends as I possibly can, just a disc golf tournament in the professional division, but there's also just some personal things that we need to figure out, because my wife and I still live in a van and we like traveling in the van, but we really are getting to the point where we need to have an apartment and a home base as well as multiple cars so that we can do our own things at times, because right now everything is just together. So right now I'm basically in the mode of I'm gonna make as many videos as I possibly can right now, try to grow this audience so that through your guys' viewership of the channel and through advertisements, I'm able to make enough money that we can move into an apartment, probably in Denver, Colorado, because there's a lot of really good courses around there, and we really like that area. And then from there, travel out to any events that I might want to play, as well as just playing local events to that scene. Honestly, the problem with all this is we're not exactly sure what the time frame is that we'll be able to move into an apartment. We're hoping it's closer to the beginning of spring, if not the end of winter, but we're not exactly sure, and we're going to be in Florida until that point. And so I'll probably play some MPO events in Florida in January and February. And obviously, oh my gosh, Pro Tour, get your website together. Why is it 404 not found when I click on the 2023 schedule? Come on. So looking at the events that might come up, there's a couple considerations that I have. One, right now I'm only 953 rated, so I am in the 3rd tier registration. Once it gets to open registration, after the 1,000 rated players, 970 plus, I'm in the 935 plus rated crowd right now. Hopefully my rating will continue to go up as older ratings fall off, but those will start to fall off only in March and April. And so it looks like if I was to be able to play any events on the Pro Tour, the first ones might be Music City Open or Jonesboro, but those are in locations that are probably a little far. But if we're able to settle into our place and then I'm able to travel from there and get into those tournaments, I definitely want to play as many as I can. And as long as you guys keep enjoying the videos and liking them, the videos ideally will be enough to sustain my travels to go to these places, so I don't need any big sponsorships, even though I might also try to work with companies to sponsor my entry fees or to just get me into these tournaments and figure it out. But the first ones that I might be able to play would be in April, May, or June. And my plan is to play as many Pro Tour events as I can this upcoming year, but honestly, my goal with 2023 is just to get comfortable playing MPO and get my rating up to 1,000 rated plus. Whether that's doing all local events, trying to play all the A tiers in a regional area, or getting out onto the Pro Tour, I want to make that happen so that in 2024, I'll be able to either get a tour card or get enough exemptions that I'm able to play a bunch of these events, or just through open registration as I'm a 1,000 rated player. The one thing that I am interested in doing, and they haven't announced all the details of it, is the qualifying tour, which is going to come out. I think it's 5 or 6 events that people who have a tour card can't play, and if you go and you win the tour overall, you just get a tour card for the next year, and then the other places get further like tour exemptions, because my ultimate goal is in 2024 to play also as many events as I can, but we're also planning on having a kid around that time, so I don't know if I'll be able to travel as much. So 2025, my goal is to essentially have a full tour, whatever that looks like. Obviously, the goal in this channel is to cash at a Pro Tour event, and I want to be the best disc golfer that I can possibly be, which is why it's been a little bit difficult this month doing so much content work and not as much disc golf work, that even though my putt feels better than it's ever felt before, because I've been very consistent with that, my throwing doesn't feel terrible except for yesterday because I was sore and still went out and tried to play at a tough course blind. But I just want to polish up a lot of things at about 50 to 70 feet of consistent distance, so that every time I want to hit 450, I can hit 450, and on a forehand I can hit 375 to 400 every time that I want to hit it. Those are the main things that I want to do, but doing them smoothly and with good form, because I have not looked at my backhand form almost ever, but kind of a little bit at the very beginning of my career. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of things with my coach that I'll be able to iron out and I'll show that whole journey along this way. But I want to take you guys a little bit behind the scenes of my mindset and mentality of moving up into MPO, being comfortable, kind of being in the middle mix, but obviously trying to play as best as I possibly can. But I'd rather play at the professional level and be stumbling a little bit than be playing at the top of the amateur level, because I've already learned how to win a little bit down here. I have enough experience winning a couple events. I can drop down if I need to, but I want to stay up at MPO, have my first year at MPO, be as good as it possibly can be, but I'm comfortable with that, kind of bumbling a little bit at some bigger events and hopefully getting my rating up to that 1,000 rated point. And then 2024, start to have a part-time tour with a kid, figuring out what all that means. And then 2025, trying to have a full tour. Not everything has to go well with your training all the time. There are going to be good and bad seasons. And right now, it's just not the best season for this past couple weeks, which is okay. So moving into the next season, I have my first major coaching thing on Monday, which I'm sure is going to light a fire under my butt. And you'll be seeing a lot more videos about how to get better at disc golf with your form, backhand, and forehand, because those seem to be the videos that get the most views anyways, so that'll help me towards all these goals. So please subscribe, and I appreciate you. If you want to watch a video on how to add more snap, check it out right over here. People are interested in that. The forehand video that I did with overthrow disc golf is right down here. Also very, very good video that has helped me to really smooth out my forehand and feel really comfortable with it and not hurting my elbow at all, or my shoulder anymore. Okay, that's that. Hope you didn't think this was too boring. Love you, bye.